to my 13,000 subscribers I supposedly have online. I hope that each one of you is doing super awesome today. So, I was doing videos before, as you know, and I was really enjoying doing them, but what I noticed was there wasn't a lot of response back. Means there weren't as many reactions per se that I would like from this 13,600 to almost 14,000 subscribers that I once had. There was very little views after the initial view on advertising was done. So yeah, I came to a crossroads and I decided to remove all the videos that I had done, almost over 200 or maybe over 200. And I've been thinking for a long time about what I should actually discuss. Because, see, I'm being called to create a channel, and I have been, we'll say, called to this or guided to this for a very, very long time, but to create a channel where I can share the information and the insights and stuff. And I'm thinking just recently that perhaps I was putting too much emphasis on it having to always be perfect. And it almost got that way in that I would record and then I would spend an awful lot of time worrying about the audio levels or worrying about the pauses or what I was saying. Because sometimes, we can speak when we speak candidly and make mistakes. And that's okay because this information is just being spoken candidly. I'm not looking to have a script and make everything perfect. And even that was another example of some of my other creations. I was scripting them. So I was kind of unaware, or I had yet to determine the exact content of that which I wanted to put most of my energy into. And I was sitting here within the last hour realizing, I would rather just put in for my attention and energy into creating audios, meaning that they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be well received even. It's just things that I think about, and I do think about an awful lot of stuff. And I'm always thinking about how we can improve society, how I can improve my life, the things that I would love to do, and the things that I wonder about, and, spending a lot of time thinking about the things that don't make sense, like the overabundance of parking signs matched with yellow paint, matched with so much other stuff. But then I get into thinking about it and I come up with reasons of why it could be and why it couldn't be, like how we could find solutions to like maybe not have them there everywhere they seem to be. They got parking signs that tell you where you can park, where you can't park, and where you should park when you shouldn't be parking there. Like no parking on that side, but you can park in front of the fire department. That's a funny one. Or you can park in the middle of the road, but you can't park there. Anyways, yeah. So I've decided to try something different. I decided not to worry about what I'm filming, not to worry about overall if the cars are honking behind or there's something happening in the background, rather than to focus on me talking and me sharing and me essentially growing with you. Because I realized what I could create a channel about is candid talks, yes, but not on specific things, just on whatever comes up in my mind, and I wish to put it into what some would call a reading. I watch several different channels on YouTube in which people just talk into the camera and they give advice or they talk about an intuitive feeling, and there's a sense of trust that the people who hear this will know they resonate with it and therefore the message is to them, as opposed to there's other people who will pull tarot cards and that will somehow guide them to say the right things or to pick up on the right information. And yeah, back to what I would rather do is rather than trying to script things, like I would love to, of course, create projects. And I think some of the stuff I will put back up, such as my Care Bears video, because a lot of those projects I really, really enjoyed creating. And although they were created with AI, I never felt that I was giving my power away to the AI when I created them. And see, that's a major topic of discussion, is how much power we give away to an AI. And I utilize the AI's talents for creating images based on a huge series of parameters that I chose. And then I hand selected through hundreds and thousands sometimes of photos in order to get the one that I thought most resonated with my project. Unlike there are other AIs out there that will simply read the words and it'll come up with its all concepts and everything moving around and all the cool imagery. It'll do it all itself rather than I had not done that. However, I'm going to test out this type of broadcast. Simply just me talking about what I would prefer to share about my own experiences, because one of the things you learn when you start working on self-confidence is you learn that what you have to say is valid. Even if it's untrue, it's still valid because you have to say it. Of course, we have to recognize that being tactful and, loving means that we aren't, well, I have to say, and then to say all these critical, condemning things, that when we come across a situation where we want to tell someone, there are proper ways of doing it. But back to what I was saying before, the idea of coming to self-confidence is that we trust that what we have to say is valid and worthy of being shared. And especially when it's questions that we to question. No, yes, when it's questions, when you're questioning something. So I think that that's what I will do. And I'm uncertain whether or not I'll concern myself with comments and such. I think this was a concern I had when I launched my Candid Talks, is I was wondering whether or not comments were valid, because sometimes there's information that's meant to go out and, just resonate with the person that's listening. And then sometimes there's other information that's meant to turn into a dialogue, and through dialogue it becomes stronger. But then there's the idea of how much negativity will my positivity attract. That's a question as well. And so I guess we'll just have to see how it goes for the comments and such. But back to me starting about my video, as I was saying hello and thank you to my over 13,600 subscribers at one time. I truly hope that more of you are real and I'll just be candid about this. When I first started my channel off, I was working my way towards 100 subscribers. And then I got this idea, or perhaps a guided message, to connect with the advertising on YouTube. And so I had a little bit of extra money, $1,000 almost exactly, or somewhere around that. And I put that money into advertising my channel across the world. I chose very interesting markets, Bangladesh and India. And, it was cheaper to advertise my channel in these other countries. And I know that their second language for a lot of these countries is English. So I advertised my channel in a lot of foreign markets, and of course Canada and America too, and all over the world. However, most of the subscribers that came in were from India. I think about 50% of my almost 14,000 subscribers, because they showed me where all these subscribers. Now, keeping in mind, the advertising I was doing with YouTube was to garner or to collect either subscribers or likes on a specific video, or subscribers to the channel itself. And so there's different key different questions I had to ask about what my goal was. And so the videos that were advertised, they got a lot of response and a lot of interaction. However, very little view time. For many of the likes on some of the videos, the time was like 30 seconds. So they weren't even fully watching the video, and then I was paying for all of this advertising. But anyways, when I got towards the end of the advertising, YouTube actually cut me off, and they told me that I needed to show them a business license, although I was just advertising my channel because I want more people to watch it. I wasn't really interested in the business part. I'm still not really interested in the business part. I really just like to connect with more people and bring more people together and more people to learn things. And we are going through some amazing times right now. And I think that creating a community where we can share information, whether it's wrong or right, just that when we learn it, because sometimes someone learns information which is incorrect, but if they are able to be in a community that's supportive when they're learning that information, they can maybe spend less time on being affected by that information. And I think that that works with community. So creating this channel where I can share the experiences that I have learned, because like I was saying before, it's valid. The things that I've learned is valid. What happens in my reality is perhaps happening in other people's realities as well. So perhaps some of the energies which are trying to lead us astray, if we're able to communicate about them, if I'm able to communicate about them and let you know in my experiences, well, then it's possible that you can avoid having to be affected by certain situations that I was, and then perhaps you can sidestep them, and perhaps I can do the same thing. Is if I hear about, read about, or whatever, I'm able to learn from that situation and then help avoid that. So to conclude, I guess, the pauses and all that stuff, that's perfect. It's going to stay. However, the recording volume is for now, it's going to stay. And I'm not going to worry so much about the reception of what I say. I'm going to know that whoever needs to hear whatever portion of what I have to say, that they will receive that message. And perhaps it'll grow, perhaps it may not. Who knows? Who cares? Just the point is to put out what I have to say and trust that it gets to where it needs to go. So I want to conclude this first video of me just talking with a sincere, amazingly big thank you to my number one, I don't know if fan's the right word, but my number one subscriber. She knows who she is, and I thank you so much for all the support that you gave me through the first almost 2 years of my channel. And now that I'm launching it, and I'm going to launch it very, very firmly, because we are changing this world. It's not a question anymore. There's so much that requires changing, and the people that are listening to this, we're the ones who are going to do it. There's no saviors, there's no heroes, and well, not heroes, but there's no saviors. There's, of course, heroes, because like I was just saying, my hero is my number one subscriber. And I thank her so much for all the support. And it's just been an amazing journey. And we're about to move into a whole new world of radical change, but radical not being from a deviant point of view. Radical just simply meaning doing a 360 and walking backwards into the where you just came from, but doing it differently. And so we are going to severely do things differently, because that's how we get out of the situation that we're currently all mired in. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your attention with me. Your attention is so important. We'll be definitely talking about Ethereum and attention and creative energy and such as the streams go by. And I'm just going to do them whenever I feel like doing them. I'll go on live. I apologize right off the bat. I don't look at the phone while I'm doing the stream. So if people are leaving comments or asking questions and such, right now it's not going to be available for that because I'm just using a phone and I can't see when people said something. However, if you want to bless each other and bless the channel and bless Source or bless your neighbor, whoever it is, if you want to say something awesome and cool in there, I definitely encourage you to. Like I said, I'm not so concerned about this being a business sort of idea on YouTube. I don't want to sell mugs and shirts and stuff and help YouTube make any money. I just simply want to connect with people and bring us all together. If you're interested in seeing anything that I have created, you can go look for my channel on Rumble, as the videos are there as well. So thank you so much. And I see there's one person viewing right now and one thumbs. And so I truly, truly do appreciate you as well. I'm standing here looking at my celery with you. And so, yeah, so thank you very much. And look forward to hearing more. And I'm going to talk about whatever it is that my little heart desires to talk about now. In honesty and love. Thank you.